Now, going on to the business blunder of the day, you have the Porsche Taycan and the Audi e-tron GT, both recalled. And they're both EVs, which still making an EV Porsche. Talk about poor taste, but that's just me. Now, the recall is due to defective batteries. Specifically, the sealing of the batteries, well, it's not so good. Now, it looks like the affected vehicles could suffer a liquid intrusion into the battery and potentially cause damage or fire to the vehicle. That's not too good, especially because one of the biggest detriments to EVs, when they go into flames, they go into flames. And fire departments, they will someday, they're not currently equipped with the appropriate fire suppression materials. It's one of the reasons if you go to a racetrack for a fun race weekend, they don't allow EVs. It's not just because they think EVs are boring as hell. Some people do. But it's for safety reasons. Gasoline is much easier to put out with traditional fire suppression units. Lithium-ion fires, you need a whole different set of materials and a whole different set of insurance. So a lot of tracks actually do not have those there in terms of the ability to suppress a fire. So they just ban them altogether. And again, as time goes on, I'm sure you'll have more fire departments adopt those technologies. But that's another issue. And of course, I would argue they're also much more volatile. If you look at lithium-ion fires, much more detrimental. Whereas traditionally, you might, if you're lucky, have a good little fire extinguisher in your car, and you could hopefully salvage it, depending on the situation if it's an internal combustion engine. But another topic for another time, perhaps. Now, it looks like the affected vehicles were built between September 22nd, 2022 to August 25th, 2023. And the recall specifically concerns 4,777 Porsche Taycan models and 1,899 e-tron GTs, made by Audi, same parent company, good old Volkswagen. And it looks like the company is expecting roughly 3% of the population to be subject to the water ingress issue. So the silver lining and the good news is, statistically speaking, you're probably okay, though obviously go to a dealer as soon as possible to get it repaired. But in terms of the percentage of vehicles affected, it's 3%. So again, they're going to replace them, good old company policy is you place them all by default. But it looks like realistically about 3% are effective, according to what I'm reading here. Now, they also say the first issue came to light in 2022 when Porsche and Audi identified a limited number of cases where reduced installation resistance values suggested liquid could be entering the batteries of certain vehicles. This prompted the battery supplier Doxlimer Group to introduce a new Tron brand sealant in September last year to try to improve the robustness of the battery seal. So it's like subsequently they were able to actually fix it and use a little bit better of a sealant. And thankfully, again, with the data we have now, doesn't sound like anyone was hurt from the situation. So it doesn't sound like it was it's not being a recall forced upon them by the government, which in my opinion always looks worse than trying to get it out ahead of the situation yourself. So it looks like it's much more of a voluntary recall. They're reaching out directly to consumers and they'll be able to get their vehicles fixed. I was about to say and enjoy them, but let's be honest, if you're getting a Porsche, just get a 911 with a stick shift because that's really what you want. And that's really the peak way to really appreciate the embodiment of Porsche. But that's just my 3 cents. It used to be 2 cents, but 40-year hyperinflation, gotta go 3. Should be 4, but what can I say? I'm a generous man. Thank you again for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September, so you can click that button. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments are really appreciated. I take the feedback seriously. I try to get to all of them when I can, and appreciate the cordial conversations we're able to have each other, and the feedback that helps make the show better. And if you have any software suggestions, greatly appreciate that. Try to get the picture-in-picture, and when we work together, we'll make it better slowly but surely. Also, don't forget to take the time to like the video because that helps out with the algorithm as well. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.